right, here we go. So Schoology, Thursday, September 10th. What are we doing today? We are going to practice how to solve one-step equations by multiplying and dividing. So yesterday we did adding and subtracting. Today is multiplying and dividing. After we do that, you're going to go to Edgenuity. You're going to just do the instruction and then take notes. So, let's see what that looks like. So it's going to be at, oh, no, I didn't want that quiz. Sorry. Okay, at the very bottom, solving one-step equations, instruction. You're just going to watch it and then take notes, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, it says you do not need to submit your notes on Schoology. You can if you want to. You're perfectly fine to do that. But where are you going to find the notes? Right here, okay? So you can click it to download it or to open it through Cami. I still have it here because obviously I want you to be able to open it with Cami and download it so that you have a copy in front of you, okay? And then don't forget your attendance. And then our 20 minutes synchronous session will be up here after I finish with your wonderful, wonderful class. Okay. One thing in Edgenuity I wanted to show you, because some of you have been telling me for the instruction videos, like sometimes the guy who's talking, he kind of sounds warbly, like he's from a different dimension, or like the volume is super soft and you can hardly understand him, even though your volume is all the way up. So on top of the lesson in this purple bar, if you click it, like you can get your notes here too, just in case one day I forget to add your notes. But transcript is the same thing as like captions, okay? So if you click transcripts, do you see how this is literally every word that the guy is saying, and it tells you like the timestamp? So if there's like something where you just can't understand, you can kind of like fast forward to that spot and then read it. That's just another option if for some reason your sound is weird or whatever, okay? So let me go ahead and get started. You do not need a sheet of paper unless you want to write this down, but this is 6th grade and 7th grade review. So I'm hoping that you're okay and that this is a review for you. Okay, so let's just practice a couple before you do some by yourself in Edgenuity. Let's solve for x. I have 11x equals 99. So I'm going to draw my line and I'm going to try to drop down the number that's on the same side as x. Can someone type or shout out? What number is on the same side as x? 11. Jose, Jema, thank you so much. So 11 is what I'm going to drop down. Now remember, you always have to see how it's connected. Normally you look at the symbol before if there's a plus or minus here, but look at how they're connected. This time you want to separate the 11 from the x. So you're actually going to use the opposite of that operation. They are connected by a multiply. I know it's a multiply because whenever a letter and a number are connected and I don't see a symbol, you can always assume that it's multiply. So guys, what's opposite of multiply? Thank you. So you're going to divide both sides by 11. I'm going to use this fraction bar like divide. And the reason why I'm dividing is because look, 11 divided by 11 is 1. 1x is the same thing as just saying x, right? So now I can divide, 99 divided by 11. That's a big number. But you have a calculator. 99, I write it first because it's on top. 11, I write it second because it's on the bottom. It equals 9. So x equals 9. Final answer. And remember, I can always double check my answer. I have 11 times x. 11 times x. What did we say x was? 9. Does that equal 99? Dun, 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 dun. Yes, it does. Okay. So let's try another one. Negative 4x equals 36. So what number is on the same side as x?
That's 4.
Thank you. Thank you. So here's the tricky part. Some of you say 4 and some of you say negative 4. Now think about how we're going to move it. And I'm going to tell you right now, you do not add it. You do not add 4 to both sides. Yesterday we did, but today we are not. So how do I move this 4? Look at how they're connected, just like how these two were connected, and then do the opposite.
Do you divide?
Yes, ma'am, you divide. Okay, so whenever they're connected to each other, you have to say, oh, they're connected by a multiply, because I don't see a symbol, so it's multiply. So you're actually dividing by not 4, but negative 4. So when they're connected, you take the symbol with you. Okay, but like, do you see how this was like yesterday's problem? Yesterday, you would have added 4 to both sides because -4 and x are separated. That's why you add 4 to both sides. That was yesterday. Today, you divide it, the actual symbol. You don't flip the symbol. And the reason why is because they're connected together. Okay. And the reason why, again, is because look, -4 divided by -4 is 1. 1x is the same thing as saying x. Okay. I have x equals, use your calculator, -9. Okay, let's try another one. X over 5 equals 8. All right, what number is on the same side as x that needs to go bye-bye? Thank you. 5.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to multiply. Oh, so I need to move the 5. Look at how they're connected and then do opposite operations. Does anyone know? How do I move the 5?
I multiply.
Yes, you multiply because x over 5, over is the same thing as saying divide. X divided by 5, opposite of 5, or divide is times. So I'm going to times both sides by 5. So left over, I get x, I get equals, 8 times 5 is 40. And remember, you can double check your answer. X we said was 40. Divided by 5, dun, 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 it does equal 8. Okay. By the way, if you haven't said hi in the chat box, can you please say hi in the chat box? Okay. Next one. X over -3 equals 12. Someone other than Jose, someone other than Jama, someone other than Brooke. What's the number that I need to drop down on both sides? Thank you, Hannah. -3. Thank you for saying negative. It's not a positive. I'm not adding 3 to both sides. Remember, the reason why I'm not adding 3 is because you have to look at how they're connected first. They're connected by that symbol. So how do I actually move the -3?
Multiply.
You do multiply, yes sir. You divide, so opposite of divide by -3 is times or multiply by -3. So left over you have x, you have equals, 12 times -3 is -36. Use your calculator. Now here's the thing. Some of you, if you made the mistake and you wanted to add 3, you would get 15. Well then plug it back in and double check. 15 divided by -3 is not 12, so you know you did it wrong. Some of you just want to multiply it by +3. If I multiply by +3, 12 times 3 is 36. 36 divided by -3 is not +12. So there are easy ways that you can always double check your answer to see and to kind of double check yourself. Okay. All right. You try one by yourself. -15x equals -75.
Should I just type the answers in the chat, Ms. Riesenhoff?
I think that would be a good idea. Tell me what you think should be the answer and try not to do it in your head. I know some of your mental math is amazing and you can figure that out, but try to do it the actual math way. Because what if I gave you decimals and fractions, which you will be getting next week? You can't do decimals and fractions in your head. Sorry, you're not that amazing. I mean, you're amazing, but you're not that amazing. Okay, someone got -5. You are so close. Yes.
Oh, now the answers coming up are, yeah, I won't say them out loud.
Okay, Mr. Tucker, were there any correct answers there?
Yeah, I see Hannah and Jose both got +5.
+5 is right. Okay, so first of all,
Both nodding their heads in agreement.
Oh, good. Okay, so look at how they're connected. I don't see a symbol, so you know the symbol is multiply. Opposite of multiply is divide. So I'm dividing on both sides. -15, I have to divide by -15 because this was negative. If I multiply and divide, the symbol stays the same, like the positive negative symbol stays the same. So that cancels out. I have x equals, oh gosh, -75 divided by -15. I have no idea. Oh, +5. I love this calculator. I'm so happy that I get to teach 8th grade. All right, x equals 5, +5. So if you got -5, you are so close. You just made a tiny mistake. Whenever you multiply and divide, the positive negative symbol stays the same. Okay, it's just if you're adding or subtracting on both sides, then the positive negative symbol gets flipped. So guys, when we do this, look, I'm dividing on both sides. I'm using the division property of equality. I'm multiplying on both sides. I'm using the multiplication property of equality. I'm multiplying on both sides. I'm using the multiplication property of equality. I'm dividing on both sides. I'm using the division property of equality. Okay. All right. Let's make it slightly more tricky then. What if I have this? 490 equals -7n. I'm kind of changing up the problem. This time the answer is written first, and then like the variable, the n, is on the other side. So first of all, which number is the one that I have to drop down on both sides? Yay, -7. I dropped down the -7. And thank you for saying negative and not positive, because look at how they're connected. It's by a times, right? So how am I actually moving this -7? Add, subtract, multiply, divide the -7. Divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by -7. So that cancels out. -7 divided by -7 is 1. 1n is just n. That's why that's good. Oh my gosh, huge number. 490 divided by -7. Remember, the negative symbol is on the bottom. It's not minus. Okay, minus is on the side. You have to write negative. I get -70. So just drop everything down. The answer comes first this time, then the equals, then the n. But for you super OCD kids out there like me, if you really wanted to flip it, that's okay. It's the same thing. Later on, it's not going to be the same thing. And I'll tell you when it's not the same thing. Okay. All right. I have, before I get to the super, super tricky ones, let's do a fraction one. Don't be scared, okay? Fractions are actually okay this year because you have calculators. Okay. So what number is on the same side as x? 2/5. So that's the one I'm dropping down. Look at how these two are connected and do the opposite symbol. How do I move the 2/5 on both sides? Add, subtract, multiply, or divide? Woohoo! Divide, right? Because 2/5, no symbol, so it's times. If you don't see a symbol, it's times. So you're going to, opposite of times is divide and divide. So that cancels out. Okay, so this is how I type into my calculator. First I have the x, then I have the equals. Okay. When I type this in my calculator, should I write 2/5 first or should I write the 10 first? The order does matter. So which number should I type first? 10. Good. The reason why I type 10 first is because it's on top. That's being divided by the 2/5. So the top number is written first, 10, divided by, 2/5. It's a fraction. It's okay, I have a calculator, but I forgot how to type it in a calculator. What button do I press to get a fraction?
Alpha y equals.
Yes, alpha y equals. So alpha is this green. I think on your calculator it should be green. Y equals is on the upper left. Okay, this first button, alpha y equals, and then just enter. Okay, so now you have 2 on top, arrow down, 5 on the bottom. Look, guys, I love this. It almost brings tears to my eyes. I can do fraction problems in the calculator now. I don't have to spend 5 minutes to figure it out. Dun, 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 dun. It's 25. And remember, you can always double check your answer. You can plug it back in your original equation. 2/5 times x. We said x was 25. Is it equal 10? Ding, 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 ding. It does. So I know I got it right. Okay. Can I do a more complicated one with you guys? Are you ready? Emotionally, are you ready? Mentally, are you ready? Okay. So what if I gave you this? Okay, let me start with like the easiest, and then I'll go a little bit harder, and a little bit harder, and a little bit harder. What if I just had this? 25 equals x over -4. Okay, 25 equals x over negative 4. Hopefully this is not hard. I kind of want to ease you in. I don't want to, bring you to tears just yet. Okay, negative 4. Someone says negative 4. I'm assuming that means we are going to move negative 4 because it's on the same side as x. Add, subtract, multiply, or divide.
Multiply.
Multiply, right? Because it's divide here. Opposite of divide is multiply. So I'm going to multiply both sides by negative 4. So just use your calculator. 25 times negative 4 is negative 100 equals x. Boom. Okay. Hopefully you were able to do that. Now here is a more difficult question. And before I tell this to you, let me tell you this. Do you see how this one, the negative was on the bottom? If I were to say 2/3, if I put a negative on the bottom, 2 divided by negative 3, that's the same thing as saying negative 2 over positive 3. These two are the same exact numbers. This negative is on the bottom. This negative is on the top. It doesn't matter. The negative is somewhere, so that's great. Which is also the same thing as saying negative in the center, 2 over 3. So do you see how all three of these fractions are literally the same thing? The negative can be on the bottom. The negative can be on the top. The negative can be in the center. It does not matter. It's the same thing. Okay? So knowing that, what if I had a question like this? Negative is in the center. X over 6 equals 20. Well, the negative is in the center. I don't want a negative in my answer. So the easiest thing to do would be taking this negative and crossing it out and just bumping it to the bottom. Okay? And that's okay to do because the negative can be on the bottom, the negative can be on the top, and the negative can be in the center, and they all equal the same thing. So now I can just bump it to the bottom and now solve for x. So what number do I drop down on both sides? Negative 6. Thank you for saying negative 6 and not positive 6. Okay, how do I move the negative 6? Add, subtract, multiply, divide. Multiply. Thank you, Sydney. You're going to multiply negative 6 on both sides. So that cancels out. So left over, I have x equals negative 120. So do you see what I did? If I had a negative in the center, just bump it to the bottom, and you're okay with that. Okay, last question, and then we're done for the day. You leave me. Okay, you babies leave me. I'm so sad. Okay, what if I have this then? Negative x over 6 equals negative 10. Okay. Here's the issue. The negative is on the top. I don't want a negative x. I want a positive x. So where can I bump this negative and it still be the same type of question? Yeah, to the bottom, right? Remember how I said if the negative is on the top, it doesn't matter. Just move it to the bottom. It's the same thing. If the negative is in the center, just move it to the bottom. So the negative is on top. No bueno. I don't like that. So just cross that out and just put it on the bottom. Now it looks like I would multiply both sides by negative 6. So I get x equals positive 60. And that would be my answer. Okay, so that was kind of the tricky thing. If your negative is in the center or the top, just cross it out and bump it to the bottom. That would make your life much, much easier. Okay.